Imagine a forest where trees don't fall because of storms. They fall because their DNA forgot how to grow. A place where the ground hides pockets of invisible poison, and where fires don't just burn wood. They re-release a disaster back into the sky. This isn't mythology. This is real. Welcome to the Red Forest. The place nature never fully recovered. When the reactor exploded in 1986, shockwaves spread quietly, not as sound, but as radiation. At the edge of the exclusion zone, something eerie began to happen. Conifer trees didn't simply wilt. They turned a rusty, tragic red, burned from the inside out, their needles brittle, their life systems scrambled. It looked as if autumn arrived overnight, and then never left. Authorities panicked. The forest wasn't just dead. It was contaminated fuel. Bulldozers arrived. Entire sections of woodland were uprooted, pushed into trenches, buried beneath soil, as if humanity tried to hide its mistake. But radiation doesn't care about burial. It lingers. It waits. And beneath those silent mounds, the danger stayed. Robots were sent next. Machines should have done the cleanup, but they failed. Circuit boards fried. Sensors went blind. Radiation chewed through electronics. And then came the line no one wanted to read. The robots failed. Humans will have to do it. Workers entered wearing protective suits, dosimeters ticking, trying to clean a disaster that refused to be contained, then walked away, leaving a forest that was neither alive nor dead. Over time, something strange happened. Life returned. Wolves, deer, boar, lynx, they roamed freely, as if the absence of humans created a sanctuary. But inside muscle samples, inside bones, scientists found measurable radiation. This was not nature healing. It was nature tolerating what it could not escape. In the shadows, researchers discovered dark pigmented fungi, organisms rich in melanin, appearing to use radiation the way plants use sunlight, not only enduring it, but possibly turning it into energy. The Red Forest became an unplanned laboratory, a place where evolution experiments in silence. Look closely. Trees grow crooked, branches twist at odd angles, growth rings warp like a distorted record. Radiation didn't just kill cells, it scrambled instructions. Some seedlings grow painfully slow, others form asymmetrical shapes, as if the forest remembers normal, but cannot fully return. Scattered throughout the soil are small hotspots, pockets of cesium-137 and plutonium concentrated like invisible puddles. Step into the wrong square meter and exposure spikes instantly. A single handful of dirt here can trigger industrial radiation alarms. But the greatest threat is not the dirt, it's fire. When flames sweep through the Red Forest, they lift trapped radioactive particles into the wind. Scientists track these plumes by aircraft, watching them drift over towns, farmland, and rivers. A forest fire here becomes a disaster replay button. Deep beneath the ruined reactor, molten fuel once fused with sand, forming a strange greenish mineral. Chernobylite, glass-like, fragile, intensely radioactive. A shard that should not exist. A reminder frozen in toxic stone. Yet this tragedy reshaped the world. Radiation detectors in airports, food testing standards, hospital dose limits, protective suits, evacuation protocols, drones and remote robots for hazardous zones. Many of these advances trace their origins to lessons learned from this forest. Politics shifted. Nuclear policies changed. Compensation battles, secrecy debates, contamination maps. Arguments echo across decades. And still the question remains, do we open this land more, or seal it forever? The Red Forest isn't safe. It is managed risk. You can walk through parts of it with a guide and a Geiger counter and feel like everything is fine, until the detector suddenly spikes near the soil, reminding you that the disaster never ended. It simply slowed down. Today, the Red Forest is a contradiction. A graveyard where ecosystems adapted. A research site disguised as wilderness. A warning wrapped in green. Scientists study mutations, adaptation, and resilience. Insights shaping agriculture, medicine, and environmental planning. Meanwhile, the internet keeps the story alive. Viral drone footage, TikTok counters screaming, debates about wolves and wild nature, fires, military footage, evacuations, each wave reopening the fear. So did nature win? The truth is quieter. Nature didn't win. It survived differently. Beneath the soil, beneath buried trees and shards of Chernobylite, beneath ashes that still remember, the forest whispers. Some mistakes don't disappear. They simply learn how to live among us. And as we leave this scarred land behind, we travel to another place where Earth itself feels hostile, not from radiation, but from the planet's molten heart. Boiling pools, acid lakes, air that burns the lungs. Next, we descend into the Danakil Depression, a slice of hell on Earth, where life challenges the limits of possibility. If you want to continue this journey with us, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a like so more explorers can find it. Stay with us.